in today's video we're going to be doing another kind of like through the decades kind of video. So last time I did toddlers throughout 80 years, but today I'm doing teenagers through 100 years. So you can probably see right now that it is a 22-minute video, probably even longer once I've edited and everything. So yeah, I've still got a cough and a sore throat, but for some reason I decided, you know what, I'm going to do 10 different outfits today. But anyways, so as you saw I made the sim that I'm using for all of these. I decided to also use the same last name, which is Garber, throughout all of them, just to make a little bit more sense. I couldn't bother to think of a different last name every time, basically, that's why. But I just made a pretty simple sim at the start, nothing special about it, just a sim, just so you could see what am I talking about? Okay, but we're doing it from the 1920s to the 2010s. So we're starting off here with the 20s. So the 20s description says, during previous decades, many layers were worn. However, during the 1920s, minimal layers became the new standard. For girls, clothing became looser and shorter. Dresses and skirts were now knee-length and loose-fitting. Shoes were also made out of canvas, making them lighter and easier to wear. So for this, I know, so they're meant to be teenagers, so I'm not doing that. She's not meant to look like an adult. She's meant to look like a teen. However, I had loads of this flapper kind of style clothes and hair and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna have to just make her have that style. So yeah, that's the style I went for this. I hope I got it right. It's like the headband thing and with the gloves with the long dress. I think it's actually really cool. I wish I had the little the what's it called, I don't even know what it is, the off the shoulder kind of thing that they have on their arms, across them. Okay, that's really bad English. What am I even talking about? That was such a bad description. But yeah, I wish I had that, but I didn't. So I think she turned out really cool in the end. Also, that was one of the last sims I made, because I wasn't planning on doing the 20s, because I actually thought the flapper style was from the 50s or something. So I was planning on doing it for then, or maybe the 40s or something. But I actually searched it and it's from the 20s. So I was like, oh crap, okay, I have all this CC that I downloaded especially for these type of videos, and I haven't even got anywhere to use it. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have to go back and do the 20s. But anyways, so moving now on to the 30s. Also, again, like the last one, these aren't 100% accurate. I'm literally just using pictures that come up when I search 1930s fashion, more teenage fashion. But obviously it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's literally just my interpretation of it. So I'm sorry if parts of it don't look like the right decade or anything, but I try my best. So for the 1930s, the overview is: 1930s clothing brings to mind bias cut evening gowns in liquid satins and silks, tweed suits, flounces and frills, and topped off by a cute little beret or tilt hat. Fashion certainly seemed fussier than the 1920s, with its relentless ornaments of bows, trims and frills. So it's a little bit more posh than, not posh, but it's a little bit more I don't know, very high fashion compared to the 20s. I feel with the 20s it was a lot more just flowing clothes, things that, nice chill stuff, whereas I feel for the 30s it was a lot more of kind of frills, like it said on there. And I love this hair that I give her. Like I said, I did download a lot of custom content before doing this video, so I do have quite a lot of stuff that I can use. I also never ended up using my little cloche hat, which I'm a bit, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, which I'm a bit sad I never managed to use that, but it just didn't seem right on a teenager. So if I do another one of these videos doing it as adults, then I will definitely use that hat. But let me know in the comments if you want to see that one as well. I really enjoy doing these. It takes me hours and hours, but it's fun, so I don't care. So yeah, for her, I gave her this dress. I think it's a child's or a toddler's dress that they've converted into a adult's dress, but it just seemed like the best fitting. It's not completely perfect, but it's the best I could get, really. And I think she turned out really cute in the end. Also, the traits that I'm giving them are very stereotypical to that time. So obviously people were very sexist back in the day. So a lot of it is for obviously because she's a girl, a lot of it's family and super parent and stuff like that, which I would never, that's not realistic, but it's more the stereotype and how women were had to present, even though that's just ridiculous and just stupid and everything. But I just did that because that is stereotypical, and this is kind of the point, I guess. It's not stereotypical, but you know what I mean, it's going from these decades, and that's kind of what you imagine, so I kind of had to go with it. Moving now on to the 40s. So obviously the 40s is when the war like was happening, like the start of the 40s anyway, till 45. So there was quite a lot of like shortages and rations of clothes and stuff. It says here, in a nutshell, 1940s women's fashion was about creating an hourglass silhouette with masculine details, padded shoulders, nipped in high waist tops, and A-line skirts that came down to the knee. This was everyday shape for clothing, from suits to dresses. Even pants had a similar high-waisted, wide-leg shape. So it's a lot more loose fitting. I feel like 1920s and 1940s are very much more similar than the 30s. I feel like for the 30s, everyone just went really posh all of a sudden. And then, like, after that, it was like they just decided to go back to all the loose fit and stuff, but I like much prefer this kind of style. I wanted to give her a hat like this, but I started doing it and I kind of realised that she was looking more adult than a teenager, so I decided to go back and actually change it, which is why this one took ages. But yeah, she was looking too adult, and I want to do a separate video for adult like women. I would do men, but I feel like it's kind of like a bit bland because you kind of got like I feel like from the 20s to like the 60s, they kind of wear like suits and stuff, and I don't have that many suits to be able to do that. I feel like they'd all end up blending into one, and I didn't want to do that, so I might if you want to see it, but obviously if you don't, I'm not going to bother because it's going to be impossible. But anyways, so yeah, so because of all the rationing and stuff, it was a lot more chill than the 30s, obviously because like the war didn't happen until the 1939, so like they had all the stuff then, but then once you moved on to the 40s, it's like you've literally gotten like barely anything, you have to ration everything. Also, this is probably quite a rich girl, like the clothes and stuff, they would cost money, like quite a lot of money, so I mean I could do like a more like middle class version, I guess, as well, if you want to see that. I don't know how I'd do that, but I could try my best to do it. But for this one, I feel like she definitely looks like a teenager more. So I gave her this like button-up shirt. I saw a lot of this kind of thing when I was searching through the pictures of like the 1940s fashion, and it seemed to just be a lot of like white shirts with like a coloured like long skirt just below the knee or just on the knee, and like bows also seemed pretty common, but it was just a lot less frills and a lot less like trims than the 30s, but I much prefer it. I would prefer to be brought up then. Also, as well, I do change the eyebrows throughout these because I feel like eyebrows and like also the makeup obviously as well, I feel like they're very key points. For example, like these eyebrows up until like literally 2010s, they're all really thin because that's just how fashion was back then. Like, oh god, I could never. They were just so thin. So anyways, moving now on to the 50s. So for the 50s, I always thought it was a lot more like dancey and a lot more kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but like very like flowy, very like out dresses, if that makes sense. Like very flowy dresses, like they come out quite a lot, like bell skirts, is that what they're called, like where they go out? Yeah. So I actually searching it up, I realised it's not actually like that much like that. So it says, after World War II ended, fashion was in transition, new fabrics and techniques were invented, and people created new styles and silhouettes. In Paris, Dior launched the vertical line, also known as the sheath dress. Its overall silhouette was long and narrow, so it's actually like, it is a bit like of a flowy kind of era, no era, I want to talk about decade, but it's not as much as I expected. Like I always thought it was very like, you know, you can picture it, right? Like you can picture it. So I gave her this cherry dress because I don't know why cherries in 1950s to me are just like, they just go hand in hand. They just match really well. I don't know what it is, but for some reason they just seem to go together really well for me. So I was like, you know what, we'll just go with it. And I think this dress is really adorable. It's also called like the Marilyn dress, I think. So obviously that's a reference to Marilyn Monroe, and she was like famous around this time, like this when she became famous. So I thought, you know what, it kind of makes sense. The 1950s, maybe she's looking up to Marilyn Monroe and she just wants to wear a dress that's kind of similar to like her idol, I guess. I just gave her some pearls and stuff as well because I feel like that was quite a common thing. Obviously, I was not alive in these times, so I'm not entirely sure if these are completely accurate, but I tried my best. Moving on now to the 60s. So it says here, the 60s were an age of fashion in innovation for women. The early 1960s gave birth to drainpipe jeans and capri pants, which were worn by Audrey Hepburn. Casual dresses became more unisex and often consisted of plaid button-down shirts worn with slim blue jeans, comfortable slacks or skirts. So it's a lot more like chill again. I feel like it was just the 30s. They just went all out for the 30s. But I love this hair. I mean, it's hideous, but I love it at the same time. This outfit is just so bad. Like the 60s, I mean, you know, people have different opinions, but for me, this outfit is not the best. So I gave her this hair, which I think is meant to be from like the 60s, because I looked at hairstyles from there and they seem to be quite similar to this. Very poofy, very like, they all seem to be bobbed in the past. Like, I feel like there's no long hair in the past. Anyways, so I gave her this shirt because it seemed to be a lot of like this kind of chill look, and girls started wearing more shorts and less like dresses, which I think is really cool. Like, it moved on, they were getting less like sexist and girls would be able to do more things now, which I'm happy about, very happy about. This is a good time. I mean, I don't know if that's actually true in history, but it seems it from the pictures anyway. So I gave her this like bright orange shirt with these bright green trousers, like shorts, but like they're just so bad and they're just like low waisted. It's just, oh god, it's just horrendous. But anyways, moving on to the 70s now. This is probably the ugliest one ever. Like, I'm not joking. Like, the makeup especially, I did, oh god, I don't even know how I did it. I mean, I had to, because I know this is actually how it was, but Jesus Christ. So for the 70s, it says popular styles included bell-bottom pants, frayed jeans, midi skirts, maxi dresses, tie-dye, pleasant blouses and ponchos. Some accessories that will help pull together your early 70s hippie outfits are chokers, headbands, scarves and jewelry made of wood, stones, feathers and beads. So obviously the 70s, you do kind of think of hippies. However, I have already made a hippie sim before, so I didn't want to just go down that route again because I feel like they'd end up looking kind of similar. So I gave her this really poofy hair, which is like literally giant hair, but you know what, it's fine. It's so big, it's just giant hair. And I gave her this shirt and these bright green leggings with like some purple shorts. It's just so bad, like none of it matches. Like, the eyeshadow kind of matches the trousers. Like, I tried to go for that, but Jesus Christ, is it a bad. And like, so they have socks with like the not sandals, but like whatever not. They're just like heels. Like, why would you? Oh, it's just so bad. It's just so bad for that. I mean, like the hippie style, like I love. It's really cool, but as for that, that's just horrendous, isn't it? Moving on now to the 80s. So, that is right, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm really dumb. So, for the 80s, it says, 1980s fashion placed heavy emphasis on expensive clothes and fashion accessories. Apparel tended to be very bright and vivid in appearance. Women expressed an image of wealth and success through shiny costume jewelry, such as large faux gold earrings, pearl necklaces, and clothing covered with sequins and diamonds. So, I know that perms were very popular in the 80s. This is from my mum. Thanks, Mum. So, I know that perms were pretty horrendous as well. And Jesus Christ, like looking back at like the pictures, I mean, I say that as if I was alive then, but you know what I mean. Looking at the pictures, Jesus Christ, they're so bad. They're just horrendous. So I gave her this hair, which is the closest thing I had to a perm. I don't really know, like, what a perm looks like. And this is kind of the closest thing I had, so I was just like, yeah, we'll just go with that. And the makeup, again, the red cheeks, oh my god, I was looking through makeup pictures, like, from the 70s, 80s, yeah, 80s, and oh my god, was I scarred for life with that makeup. Oh my god, it's just so bad. It really looks like that. It's even worse than the makeup I gave my sim, if that's even possible, but it actually is, like, you would be surprised. But anyways, so, yeah, so as I read out before, it's a lot of, like, you think of, like, the bell, what they call like the bell bottom. No, what am I even talking about? Why am I even on the bell bottoms? What am I talking about? I kind of wanted to go for the you know, American Horror Story, the like last one that came out, 1984. Well, I kind of was taking a lot of inspiration from that because they're like at a camp and they have like the what is it, like the Aruba instructor? What is it called? Aerobics instructor. Why did I say Aruba? Isn't that like a place? Anyways, aerobics instructor, whatever it is, or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not very good at this stuff, but and like they all dressed like that in the show, so that was kind of what I was going going for with it. And I gave her these leg warmers that don't match a top, and I gave her this like puffer jacket and this horrible like leopard print pink shirt with bright blue shorts, white shoes. It's just a whole mess. That is just a mess of an outfit. Moving on, thankfully, to the 90s. So, for the 90s, of course, I had to go with the thinnest little eyebrows you've ever seen in your life, because it's the 90s, for God's sakes. So, the description here says, some items of clothing from the 90s were black leggings with oversized sweaters, low heel shoes, flannel skirts, denim everything, t-shirts, sweatpants, skirts, Birkenstocks, solid colours, silk shirts, turtlenecks, undercardigans or sweaters, plain white keds, and army surplus clothing, to name a few. So, obviously, the 90s, this is probably my favourite. Like, it's got to be my favourite. I really wanted to give her a flannel shirt, but I realised I literally don't own any that's Max's match, so I don't have any, which is really sucky, because, like, that is such, I feel like plaid shirts were just such a 90s thing. I don't know what it's about it, I just feel like that's just, I don't know, it's the vibe, okay? So I gave her this hair, which I thought was very, like, 90s music video-esque, you know? Yeah, I was kind of going for like a music video kind of vibe, rather than like, because I was thinking of like Friends, the show, and I was trying to like Rachel hair or something, but none of it just, that is adult, they are adults, they're not teenagers, so it doesn't really make any sense for me to like use them as a base, if that makes sense. So I decided to change it out and give her this hair with this red beanie that's really adorable, and then for her outfit, sorry, my throat is dying. For her outfit, I just wanted to go for something very like baggy and oversized, because I feel like that was very much in. So I gave her these jeans that are literally like my favourite jeans in the entire world in Sims. They're amazing. I love them so much. They're really cute. They're just so baggy and like so cool, but yeah. So I feel like this is definitely my favourite outfit out of all of them. Also, let me know in the comments which one was your favourite like decade as well. Definitely mine's the 90s, but obviously it depends on your preferences. So I was originally going to give her this like bomber jacket kind of thing, I don't know what it's called, but I looked and none of them were really wearing that in the photo, so I swapped out for this very baggy oversized t-shirt with obviously the jeans I was saying about, and then a flannel wrapped around her waist. That was the closest I could get, which is sad, but I tried, okay. But yeah, I feel like the 90s was just such a cool time to be alive. Like, I just missed out as well. Okay, I didn't just miss out, I missed out by like 4 years. Okay, that's not fair. Okay, like, anyways, moving on to the 2000s, or the zeros, whatever you want to call it. So this is, the description says, as the decade went on, 2000s fashion began to take cues from the 1960s bohemian looks. Yoga pants, low-rise jeans, cowl neck shirts, whatever that is, peasant tops, capri pants, cropped jackets, and dresses over jeans were popular outfit choices for women. So when I was doing this, I was basically just going off of like Mean Girls and Clueless. They were kind of my two, you know, things I was thinking of. I think they're both from the thousands anyway, but I was basically going with that, and also like Miley Cyrus, and there's a few other people as well that I was kind of thinking of when I was doing this. So yeah, I ended up going with the low-waisted jeans because I feel like that is the biggest like thing from the what am I talking about? This is the 90s, this is the 2000s, from the 2000s. So I decided to obviously go with them. I was looking at the outfits and like, they're so bad. A lot of them are like jumpsuit kind of things, like all one colour, like a bright blue jumpsuit or something, but I was like, no, I can't do that. Is that what it's even called, a jumpsuit? It is, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like with the, yeah, it's, yeah. I'm so dumb. But anyways, so I was looking at this one photo, which is of like all these girls from the 2000s at like an award ceremony. It's basically the first thing that comes up when you search it. And a lot of it seemed like these, it's just a lot of like low-waisted jeans, or like, and like low-waisted jeans, or like horrible frilly skirts, or like, and oh, what am I talking about? Why am I saying oh? Sorry, this is what happens when I try and do a 22-minute voiceover. And a shirt that's quite like, it looks like it should fit well, but it really doesn't. Like, it's just bad. It's a whole mess of an outfit. Also, the makeup seemed to tone down a little bit at this time, thankfully. Wasn't quite as bad as the 80s, thankfully, again. So yeah, I gave her this shirt which has these little like butterflies on the top, and I feel like that is like so something that I'd have wore when I was a kid, that I was like, you know what, I've just got to go for this. And it has like that little gap between her jeans and her top, and I feel like that is so like typical of like the 2000s. I don't know why. It's like, you know, what's that show called? Oh my god, I can't even think. Is it Zoe 101? Yeah, Zoe 101. Yeah, like, you know, Tori, no, not Tori. Her name's Tori, not in real life, Lana. You know, Victorious, you know, Tori, you know, the actress, yeah, Victoria Justice, that's it. Yeah, she, I feel like her character in that wore that kind of clothes a lot in that, so if I'm thinking of the right show, this is going bad, sorry. But yeah, I was also considering giving her this hat, but I don't know, it just wasn't looking right, so I decided to not. And finally moving on to the 10,000s, bloody hell, we're not that far. No, the 2010s. So obviously that is this decade. Well, no, actually, no, it's not anymore. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, no, the 2010s had been defined by hipster fashion, athleisure. Is that even how you say athleisure? Athleisure. Okay, a revival of austerity era period pieces and alternative fashion, swag-inspired outfits, unisex early 1990s style elements, influenced by grunge and skater fashions. So this one I kind of took inspiration from like soft girls more than anything, because I feel like that's a good representation, because I don't know, like, there's so many different types of clothes now. Like, I'm sure there was back in the day, but obviously we only know, like, what we see in the pictures. But I don't know, I had to go with like a soft girl kind of thing, because I just feel like that is it kind of true how it's now, very unisex, very chill, very just like you can wear whatever you want and do whatever you want, and I love that, thankfully. But I was also kind of like, if it was me, I'd make this outfit a bit 90s inspired, but obviously this is a decades thing, so I can't really just like shove her in some clothes that look like they could be from the 90s, because I feel like that's just stupid and they just blend. So I was like, okay, I'll give her these trousers, because I feel like checkered trousers were very like were very prominent. I guess were, yeah, technically. Are very prominent like now, and I feel like they just, I don't know, they're very common, aren't they? So I gave her that with a crop shirt, because I feel like crop t-shirts are very common as well, and like that is like a key port for like thing that everyone wears. So I was like, yeah, we'll go with that. I gave her this cute little short bobbed hair and some actual bushy eyebrows, the first one to actually have some sort of eyebrows. But yeah, I think they all turned out really cute in the end, and I'm really happy how this video turned out. 22 minutes, oop, that was a long time to speak, and my voice is dying even more than it was at the start. That's fun. But anyways guys, thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do more of these types of videos. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and do whatever you want, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye everyone!